Hi guys, welcome back to another episode of 343. I'm your host AF. If you are joining us for the first time, then please give us a follow on Twitter and Instagram at Sportycast, and give this video a like and a share. Please hit that subscribe button as well. And yeah, it really helps us with the YouTube algorithm so we can reach a wider audience. But yeah, almost a full house on the panel tonight. Think that Arsenal game last night scared Ziad away, so he didn't want to be a part of the festivities today. But welcome back to Nikita, Wasim, Jason, Mubeen, and Riyaz. That was a bit of a mouthful. How's everybody doing?
Top of the world.
Good.
Top of the world.
Not as active movie.
Honestly. Yeah, keep it for the group chat rather. Don't bring it to the social medias here. I've been better.
Is that why you named yourself Sad Gunner Boy on Zoom today?
Exactly. Best way to express these feelings. People need to know that I must say, I've been listening to early 2000s R&B for the whole day. It's just been keeping me going.
Yeah, it's that bad, eh?
Shocking, actually.
Confessions part 2 clopping a whole day.
Yeah.
Okay, man.
Yeah, this next few days are going to be crazy. I'm amped as a fan of the game itself because there's so much happening in the Premier League on the final day, or it could possibly happen on the final day. We have the title, the top 4, and possible relegation spot up for grabs. It's box office stuff. So where do we start? Okay, let's go with the relegation battle. It seems like Leeds may have sealed their fate already, but if Everton and Burnley both win their games against Crystal Palace and Aston Villa on Thursday night, then Leeds go down. Mubeen, do you think this relegation fight goes down to the final day? Do you think Everton and Burnley manages to pull this off on Thursday night, or what are your thoughts?
Yeah, well, it would be exciting if it does go through, or does go to the final day rather. But I think with the type of fight Everton has been putting up this last, I'd say 3-4 games, the lads are running their socks off. They're actually playing for something. So I think with that fight that they are showing, they will stay up. I think Burnley, they have probably the 2 tougher games, being, I think it's Aston Villa 1, and the last game is Newcastle. Yeah. But I think they're a gritty team under Sean Dyche, and I think they also might just have enough in the tank to bite it through and stay up. And I think Leeds will be the team that will end up going down with the other 2. So that's the way I see it panning out.
They were gritty and Sean Dyche, and then they fired him.
Yeah.
They fired him, yeah. So
we have been me on the coaching staff now. So
yeah.
Someone still needs to figure out whether that was injured or whether he's just benching himself or what's going on.
Yeah, I was wondering that now the other day. I'm like, is this guy literally just part of the coaching staff now? I thought he was supposed to be a player coach or whatever it's supposed to be. Like,
yeah, I haven't seen him play since he took over or was involved in that. So it's crazy. Like, did he just say, okay, I can't do both, so I'm going to stop the one? But yeah, crazy.
But also was he not injured? Yeah, looking at the result, since he's been out, they've actually looked safer than when he played. So maybe because I mean, look, when Sean Dyche was still playing him, then they were like, nah, Burnley's going down. Now suddenly the guys look like, okay, win a game and then Leeds again. So
it's because they managed to finish a game with 10 players. Isn't he like a red card hazard normally when he plays, trying to like break people's legs and injure people in like the weirdest ways possible?
Yeah, something to that extent.
Yeah.
But I think that'd be safe with Everton. My call.
What's everybody else's thoughts on Leeds? Do you guys think that Leeds is going to pull some weird miracle out of the bag with the other two teams messing up?
It's hard, man. They've been in such a slump, and we had mentioned earlier, like early on in the season when we were doing our previews and we were talking about Leeds, their model of football isn't sustainable, and it's showing now. They can't get themselves out of that sort of position that they've now like found themselves in. So yeah, as good as they come from behind, draw against, who is it? They play Aston Villa now the weekend, if I'm mistaken. They scored like 90th minute or something like that. Yeah, Brighton, Brighton, something like. So it's like, yeah, man. I think Leeds will actually go down. It's weird because I would have liked for them to stay in, but at the same time, they actually don't deserve to be them, and they didn't look up to the same standard that they set last season, and unfortunately, it's a dog-eat-dog world, and as much as I rather want Everton to go down, to be honest, yeah,
I don't know. For me, it's tough between the two of them. I hate both sets of fans.
Yeah. Oh well, then there's Burnley as well. Burnley are like the Stoke for me. They just kick, and literally, like you say, Ben Mee getting sent off was some other challenge. If it's not him, then it's James Tarkowski. If it's not him, then it's like left back, who is it, Eric Peters or something like that. So it's like, honestly, it's like less of three evils basically.
I think Burnley are gonna go. You think Burnley are gonna beat? Burnley have got Newcastle and who have they got?
Villa and Newcastle.
Yeah, they're not gonna get 6 points or 4 points from that. I don't think so. I think Villa and Newcastle will do a job. Everton will probably pick up at least 1 point out of their last two fixtures against Palace, probably 3 points against Arsenal at this stage. So I think Everton are safe. Merseyside derbies for the win. And then Leeds will stay with their nonsense football.
Yeah. I just accept it.
Highly likely at this stage.
Yeah.
Relegation
fun. Don't say that, Jason. Come on, let's have some faith.
I love how you're saying them now. Let's say make top 4. This guy's like, yeah, have some faith, mate. Have some faith.
Oh, that smirk on his face.
I'm not gonna smile anymore. I can't help it.
Yeah, man, it's fine. Smile, damn it. Yo, geez.
But yeah,
it's okay. But yeah,
I'm just saying, like, I was just gonna move on to the top 4 race, but if you want to say something before we move on, then go ahead.
No, I was literally just thinking about now, like, if Everton do go down, like, then that big Merseyside derby would then be gone. I'm big in inverted commas, you know, more just for the hype of it and actually for the game. But yeah, that would be interesting. I'd actually want that more now just to see what would happen. Like, yeah, this is as a spectacle thing rather, you know.
I think you just want it so that Liverpool can get the winner at the end, and then Klopp runs onto the field, fist bumping and everything, because, you know, he does an extra one for the fans for the Merseyside derby.
Yeah, but also maybe this will force Divock Origi to leave, because I mean that's his one game of the season, isn't it? So if they go on, maybe he can actually go to like AC and flourish.
Divock Origi is going to go to Arsenal next season. You heard it here first.
30 goals next season,
100%. I will rather give back the League Cup. Honest to God.
The League Cup, is that much?
I will give back literally like the League Cup. You know, I can't see Divock Origi playing in the Premier League next season. It will hurt too badly.
I also can't see him come to Arsenal, but if he does come, money bags.
Yeah, speaking about Arsenal, the top 4 race is set up nicely for the final day. But it's like we record this on a Tuesday night. So Arsenal did themselves no favors last night with the loss against Newcastle. Spurs just need 1 point on Sunday to get that final Champions League spot. Riyaz and Jason, I'm going to let you guys tag team this one from both sides, Arsenal supporter and Spurs supporter. So Riyaz, as a Spurs supporter, how confident are you and what are your thoughts?
Unfortunately, I'm pretty confident now after a couple of months of up and down, both of us, like dropping points here, picking up a couple of wins here, and being inconsistent. I will say though that I think whichever one of us get it actually deserve it, because we came from nowhere this season. Really, we weren't expected to get in the top four, neither us nor Arsenal. So I think it's a major bonus that we're even fighting for this spot in the first place. But yeah, I'm pretty excited about it. I really did want to rather go straight into the Europa League for real, actually, because I really think that's something that we can win without having to lose first. But I guess, top four is good enough. It's really nice and unexpected, like I said. So we'll see how it goes at the end of the season. We have the easier game. Everton are fighting for relegation, so that's a bit of a difficult game for Arsenal, even if they do. I'm not making excuses, but it's a difficult game. But yeah, it's going to be interesting to see on the last day what happens. Yeah, we probably will make it, but anything can happen in the Premier League,
Jason?
Yeah, man, that guy's way too diplomatic. I would have been throwing my shirt around here, all of that stuff. Nah, look, man, it's weird because, literally, like Riyaz says, both teams didn't deserve it. It was literally the battle of who didn't want it at the stage. And I think Man United could have been in that race as well. It's like one week Arsenal win, then Spurs lose, United lose, then Arsenal lose 2, then Man United win. And it was just like, nobody wanted that fourth spot. But yeah, I think the season was weird because it started Arsenal needing to, everybody wanted us to be relegated after the first 3 games. I was like, okay, guys, calm down, please. And then we had that good uptake and it was good and all that, but it's a thin squad. It's a very young squad. They buckled under pressure, and that's we can look at things like bad referee decisions. I think every team suffered this year. VAR has been even worse than before. Referee decisions have been bad. But besides that, Arsenal just didn't show up in this last few games. So lose to Brighton, lose to Crystal Palace, lose to Southampton, and then we want to be upset when we literally come to St. James Park and it's pumping because Newcastle's on this up and up as well. Spurs suddenly click into gear. It's hard to take. It was so sad last night. I was very frustrated. But yeah, man.
Look at that smile on Wasim's face.
Yeah, Wasim is like, geez, man, this guy. Like Santiago Nunez in the corner. Nah, man, it's upsetting, but there's some glimmers.
It's not over yet.
Don't wink and then say it's not over yet, okay? Because that's how you trying to tart the man here. Nah, look, honestly, if Spurs mess up away at Norwich, knock on wood, then sure, guys, then I think we'll win the Champions League next year, 100%. If we somehow make it in after all of this,
I like that.
Final run.
You know what would be the funniest thing on Sunday is if Spurs lose and Arsenal lose as well.
Now you just have to put that into the multiverse, haven't you?
That's actually something I didn't even consider yet. Thank you for sharing that.
We just see Timo Pukki playing the best game of his life. Tim Krul turning into prime Ellison or something like that. And then
Dominic Calvert-Lewin also finally deciding to play football again.
Yeah. Looking like big Duncan Ferguson.
You know what? I must say, and I've been a big advocate for Arsenal this season. I think what Arteta's done, you can see there's a vision. You can see there's a plan. But considering how poor, United, Spurs, and Arsenal have been, it's been really it's a very embarrassing. And I say Chelsea. That quite proudly. Yeah, and Chelsea. I say that quite proudly, even though Spurs took a point of us at Anfield a few weeks ago, or a few days ago. I still think, I honestly believe there should only be 3 qualifiers. Because whoever finishes in 4th, whether by some miraculous Real Madrid black magic Arsenal qualifier top 4, or if Spurs qualify, both either team will be playing in Europa League at the end of the group stages. Regardless of what your transfer window looks like, I am just 100% convinced. I will be very shocked if there's a big turnaround that gets either of those teams at the group stages next season. It's really been a poor showing, and that's disappointing, you know, because I really thought it was going to be a liquor gritty fight, but it's just been like, who's the best of a bad bunch at the moment, and that's not so liquor for me. I was also secretly rooting for West Ham, but you know, whatever, and Wolves for a time, but yeah, it's a bit disappointing. I'm very disappointed in Arsenal in particular, but yeah, maybe the Europa League will be a good place for Arteta to stretch his legs and really start developing that squad with a little bit more European experience in a safer environment.
Especially with his brand new contract that Piers Morgan isn't happy about.
Of course he's not.
Somebody needs to ban Piers Morgan. He's so, he's like...
Yeah, he needs to go into the same group as Trump on Twitter, just like a ban.
100%, yeah.
Indefinitely.
Until Elon Musk says that they need to have free speech and unban them all.
Yeah, Twitter heard him say that, and then they called the deal off. So,
yeah.
Yeah. No, just to get on to Nikita's point, it was comical towards the end, man. Like honestly, it's like if you're wanting to be competing with Europe's elite, that's not the sort of form that you want to be showing. And okay, Champions League, different format. Obviously, you must win certain number of games, and you can some long stretch make it through and play against Moscow. You can play against all these teams from and somehow make it through to a decent stage. But you'll get found out eventually. So maybe Europa is best for us. Maybe it's just that we need to blood some more of these youngsters in here and actually increase that squad depth, because that's really what killed us. We were struggling, and these guys, look, I mean, Saka from Euros, he came straight in and he's played almost all of the games. And every game, if you actually watch, he gets battered, like almost 5 to 6 horrible challenges. Ankles, knees, thighs. And I mean, this whole operation of just like, no, you must just get up and play. It will take its toll. And once it starts happening consistently that you're not actually getting that, and teams are literally just going to target you, it then becomes harder. And 20 years old, shame, like how much more do you want this guy to put on his back and actually carry the team? There's days when he plays out of his skin, and there's days when he's going to look like he's literally been stitched.
He's only 20.
Yeah, he's like 20.
He was 19 when he took that penalty for England. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
It's ridiculous, man. I mean, so, and to be fair, Jason, like, there's not been a squad in the 20 odd years I've been watching Champions League football where a young kind of developed out of the academy type team has gone on to get to the final or win a Champions League. I think the team that came closest was probably like an Ajax team, and I mean that was a fantastic squad. I just don't think that's what it takes to get to win in Europe, in my opinion. But like I said, I still think Arteta's on a good wicket there. I hope you guys persist with him.
No, 100%. Yeah, let me not ramble on. Maybe we need to extend this meeting, because then I can go on and on. But yeah, that's congrats to Spurs, man. Yo.
Not yet.
How did that taste coming out of your mouth, Jason?
But cease. Yeah.
That's the same like Mubeen wanting City to win instead of Liverpool. Moving on to that point.
Wearing blue, the background is blue, the t-shirt's blue.
Moving on to that point, we need to talk about the topic that Nikita is dreading. The title race has the spotlight this weekend. City needs to win on Sunday to clinch the title. However, if I think it was about 2 hours until Liverpool head to St. Mary's. If Liverpool draw or lose tonight, then City would be okay regardless of the result on Sunday. How are you feeling about it, Nikita?
I've written off this Premier League title about a month ago. I know City don't drop points. I mean, I think dropping 2 on the weekend against West Ham was a fluke. But when it's not in your hands, you can't hope for another team to slip up. You know, it's not right. And I mean, ultimately, over 38 games, I think they probably deserve it more than us. You know, there's games I reflect on now, not any of the losses actually, but, you know, 2-0 up against Brighton, drawing that game, up against Brentford, drawing that game. those are the things that, would keep me awake at night if I was a Liverpool fan and we once again finish a point behind. But yeah, I'm quite content. There's 2 trophies in the bag. Another final on the way, although I don't believe we're going to win it. You can compete against the best teams in the world, but you can't compete against witchcraft, and that's what I believe Real Madrid have on their side this season. There's no other way to explain it. So yeah, I'm very stoked. I'm disappointed that I'm not going to be able to kind of make it to Liverpool to kind of see of like a trophy parade or anything this year. Things didn't work out, but yeah, I'm happy as a Liverpool fan. I can't ask for much more, honestly.
He says with a sigh, 3 trophies and a sigh.
How does that feel? What does that feel
We're
like?
smiling to get 4th and 5th.
Yeah, no. I mean, look, it took like 20 odd years of heartache before, a really, really tough going. Often believing that, the 1 or 2 world-class players in your squad was going to get you through. Wink, wink, Riyaz. And it didn't work out. We also played Leeds football under Rodgers. Didn't work out. Came close as well. Slipped, and at the last hurdle. So to have a really, really fantastic manager, not just great manager and a great coach, but obviously understands the club, understands the way we operate, understands the fans, and having the squad underneath that, it's a good time to be a Liverpool fan. And I'm not going to get too greedy. I'm certainly not going to be upset if there's no quadruple. I'm certainly not going to be upset if there's no treble. Domestic trophies, FA Cup especially, I think it's a special trophy, and yeah, I'm quite happy with that. But nah, don't talk to me about titles.
Just reload.
We can talk about City.
Again, don't worry.
I feel like come 5 o'clock, come 5 o'clock on Sunday, Nikita's going to be like, maybe there's a chance.
Nah. I mean, it's again, it's Wolves again. It's Wolves again on the last day. It's ridiculous. I think it's really. I mean, losing by a point is awful. When we drew Spurs, I was like, at least 3 points. I was like, okay, that sounds okay, but a point is it makes you nauseated. You wake up in the middle of the night and you have like that thing in your throat, and you're like, oh, it's because we lost the league by a point again.
Don't do that. Sorry.
I was literally going to say the same thing. It must be nice.
You'd rather lose it by a point than lose it by goal difference.
Yeah.
Fair.
I remember how that felt.
Yeah, I don't know if I
can't relate. Riyaz, what are these people talking about?
Yeah, I literally don't know what it tastes like to win a trophy. My club hasn't won a trophy for 50 years, so I'm hoping that like
Nikita, it's gonna come with him. It's coming.
Yeah,
it's coming with him. If not next year, then the following for sure. I mean, there's no doubt. There's no doubt. Money buys you trophies. I mean, buy you Premier League.
You're not wrong.
Use up their module, then it's fine. Yeah.
Wasim, can you give us some insight about City? How do you think they're going to be approaching things this weekend?
I think for them it's easy because it's just one game, and obviously they have no other trophies to go for. So for them it's like, put all the eggs in one basket if they have to. And yeah, they've just got the squad depth to do it. It's a home fixture. It's against Aston Villa, who at best are playing for a top 10 finish or 12th finish or 11th place. That's nothing really to motivate them. Besides Gerrard being
and Coutinho.
Besides the having a bit of a ex-Liverpool influence in the team, but I feel that that motivation is not really going to work when you're going up against a team who wants a title, who they missed out on the Champions League in a very difficult circumstance where they played Real Madrid for like 3/4 of the game, and then all of a sudden, as Nikita mentioned, witchcraft happened. Everything just changed like that. So I don't think they're going to let this slip. And they've won the titles before. They've won Premier League titles recently, so they know what it tastes like, and they know that the squad's getting a bit older now, so certain players are going to leave, like Gundogan and things like that. So that's just going to motivate them to finish the job. And then the nice thing is also they can afford to draw the game potentially and still win the title. So when it's like that, then you know you're not under as much pressure when if you have to win. Like I think in Arsenal's case last night, they were, after going 1-0 down, all of a sudden it's like, what do we do now? We need 2 goals, and all of a sudden that plays in your mind that you start forgetting that how do you create chances, because you're thinking we need 2 goals and 3 goals and all of that. So in this case, they can kind of take it a bit easier. And plus, if Liverpool don't win tonight, then they win the title anyway. So it's definitely going to be something I don't see City letting go of. But on the flip side of that, Liverpool can then focus on the final against Real Madrid in 2 weeks' time. So if they don't make the league, they can perhaps, if they don't win tonight, for example, they can erase players on the weekend and then keep them ready for the final. So I think Liverpool on the 17th of May, they still have the possibility of having won 4 trophies. It's an amazing achievement. Just to be in the conversation, never mind, winning it or not. The fact that they're having this conversation when we are still hearing about trebles from 1999 to this day, and here they could go one.
Who speaks about that?
4 trophies. Trust me, there's United fans that will always tell you about it. But
they shall not be named.
But yeah, so I think Liverpool and Klopp deserve a lot of praise for what they've done this season, and regardless of what happens Sunday, they should be proud of this season.
I mean, I suppose the question, like I said, I think that the title discussion is a moot point. I think City take it. I suppose the question that we now need to kind of understand or digest is the season a failure for City?
Yeah.
Even if they only win the Premier League, is it a
100%.
failure? Because frankly, I think it is.
I
don't think Haaland as well is. I don't understand how that improves what they've already got personally, but I
Just
agree with
long.
It's a complete, for me, it's a complete failure. And I think I may have mentioned it in one of the first episodes we did this season, where I said if Pep doesn't win the Champions League this year, then they would have probably had a dismal season. So
100%. He's won everything else already. Yeah. That's the one. That's the elusive one. Like, and he's mentioned it many times before that like Champions League is the one that he wants to win with Manchester City, and I don't think he's going to give up until he does it. And I don't think that's going to happen until Yaya Toure gets his apology or a cake or I don't know, whatever. But
I got some stings or something.
I just checked the Liverpool lineup for tonight's game. No Salah, no Mane. That's kind of expected. So
no Alexander-Arnold as well.
Yeah, so it looks like my fantasy is like completely affected. Riyaz, you're probably overtaking me tonight.
Yeah, but for us, don't lie to the people, man. Let them know that it was done long before this last weekend, eh?
Yeah.
Don't say that your fantasy is affected now. Don't be an Arsenal fan. Please, man, look here. This season was in shambles long before.
Yeah, but like 7 game weeks ago.
Yo, it's been so up and down, eh? Yo,
this man was dead and buried. I mean, he was like 500 points below you.
110.
Probably more than that. Probably more than that.
Comeback Kings.
Before we end off, I just want to get everybody's
up top as well.
Sorry?
I said there's a good fight happening up top as well.
Yeah.
See a point between us. Yeah, Mr. Rani.
Interesting. Now I'm a bit upset that Salah and Alexander.
I put Son in for Salah this week, so that's a slightly reprieve. Yeah.
I captain Son this week, and I'm just in shambles.
Yeah. No, same what I could have.
Last week, Captain Salah, and then had the vice on Kevin De Bruyne. So yeah.
Oh yeah, no. I'm surprised you didn't.
The infamous choice. I blame Wasim.
Yeah.
For those who don't know, he asked us in the group, who should I make captain, De Bruyne or Salah? And
triple captain.
Yeah.
Not the normal captain. Yeah.
So I said just go with a random pick, and then he went with Salah. Yeah, he didn't go with a random pick. And...
He didn't.
You know, when I worked it out, right? So I was on live FPL just quickly before we finish up here. I was on live FPL, and if I put that triple captain, I would have jumped to like 170,000 in the world. I'm currently 340 something. That's a 60-point difference.
Yeah.
And yeah, but anyway, look here. That was my horrible week last week, and then my team fell out the top 4. So it's okay. Let's end the show now, please.
Before we end, I just want to get everybody's predictions for the final day. Number 1, number 2, 4th relegation, and who gets the 6th spot to go into Europa League. Mubeen, I will start with you.
Okay, 1, 2, City, Liverpool. Where do we go now? Europa. 4th. I think Spurs. Sorry, Jason. I think Spurs.
It's fine. I was going to say the same.
Europa. Arsenal. United. Hopefully. And then, like I said earlier, obviously the bottom 2 is gone, and I think Leeds will be the 3rd one.
Wasim?
I think, yeah, it will be City to take the title. Spurs 4th. United will get what they need to finish 6th, and then I see Leeds going down.
Peter?
The only difference for me is I think Burnley's gonna chuck. Bye, Burnley. I hate you guys.
Jason?
Yeah, I think everything the same. I'm maybe just West Ham in there in that last Europa spot, or what? Yeah, gonna go West Ham because United have a tricky game against Crystal Palace, and yeah, I think relegation station. I'm gonna stay with my pick. Everton must match, man. I don't like them. Yeah.
Yes.
I'm going to agree with Jason. Okay, well, let's start at the top. Let's go with City win, unfortunately. Let's go with Arsenal 4th, unfortunately. Let's go with a West Ham 6th, unfortunately. And let's go with a Leeds going down, unfortunately, just because.
Why? What is this reverse psychology?
That ultimate reverse over there.
I really, you see, we need time to I'm going to another end, but you see, both teams need time. So the only way we can get time is to get more time.
With more games in the Europa League.
Somewhere not elite, somewhere where we can be at our own level for now.
I feel you. I hear you. I understand.
My picks are City, Liverpool. Spurs, like I've been calling since mid-March. Thanks, you can thank me later, Riyaz. United to take the Europa League spot, and I think I'm actually going with Nikita's one of Burnley going down. I didn't actually give that one much thought, but after looking at the log and thinking about it, I think Burnley could be gone. But yeah, that is all we have for you today. That's episode 19 of the 343 podcast. Thank you, everybody, for joining. I think it would have been a bit more raucous if Ziad was in here. At least Jason would have had somebody to have his back.
Yeah.
But yeah, thanks for joining us. I'm AF4343, and I'll see you guys in a bit.